Hey guys, it's Dmitry here, and today I would like to discuss about another really important topic. Um, I'm going to discuss about maps versus objects, and like it's not like just would like to be sure that you understand. Like the maps I'm going to talk about, it's not the same functionality which is I explained before. And before I told you about maps as a function that used in order to iterate through the array, for instance, right? But in case of these maps, I'm going to talk specifically about, I would say, maps as a type of object. But it's a new approach to object creation, I would say. Okay, anyway, let's jump into that, and it's easier to show, than to explain um, just verbally. Alright, first thing first, what I would like to do, I would like to create an object, right? And I'm going to call the same name as I usually do. I'm going to call it the person. And properties, essentially, yeah, I'm going to stick with the same properties as I always do. First name, surely it's my name. Last name, just quickly define age 32, all good. So guys, do you remember in the last tutorial I struggled with the issue, right? I tried to find the length of the actual object, but I made a mistake. The problem with objects, they're not like you cannot iterate through the object, right? So when I'm saying iterate, just imagine like in an array, everything is in order, right? You can identify like the first element in array. It has index 0, and then index 2, index 1, index 1, index 2, and so on, right? So you have an order, and you can iterate through this order, right? But the problem with objects, you don't have this order, and that's the issue, right? And that's why you cannot find the actual length, right? So yeah, but the beauty is in JavaScript they came up with the iteratable objects, and essentially we call them maps. Okay, first of all, I would like to show you what the map is, right? Okay, const map new map. So that's how you create a map. That's how, essentially, guys, this syntax, that's how you create and define the map. So now we just define this map and we assign this map to this variable, right? So now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to set some properties to this map. And remember again, map, it's a type of object. Essentially, map also using keys and values, right? And corresponding values of these keys. And I will show you how you because now we define this map, but this map essentially it's empty, right? It's like a blueprint. And now we would like to store some properties, right, to this map. So in order to do that, we can do this one, map.set, which is a standard method of maps, right? Of maps functionality. So, and what we can do this way. Let's come up with the same properties. As you already guys guessed, the first thing it's essentially it's a key, the second one it's a value, corresponding value. And then I'm going to do exactly the same, set again. I'm going to say last name, key, here we go, and then of course age, and it's going to be a number. Pretty cool, guys. So, and now what I would like to do, let's log out map, and we'll see what is inside, right? In order to see what's inside, because I'm really curious myself, what's really inside of this map. And if we run it, here we go, guys. We have first name Dmitry, last name Key, age, and so on. So, but you can see, like, instead of like column, like it's using this fat arrow. So that's how it is. But essentially, it's an object, guys. Just yeah, be aware of that. It's an object. And the cool stuff about this object, guys, what I would like to do now, I would like to use this functionality, which is standard maps functionality, right? I'm going to do console.log, and I'm going to say map.size, which is essentially going to show me how many properties this object has, or this map has. So, and I mean, of course, as you already calculated, it should have like should have 3 properties. But let's see if it's the case, right? Here we go, 3. Cool stuff, guys. So again, to clarify, if I would like to use this size map but for our person object, let's see if it's going to work. And as I told you, like, the basic object is not iterable, right? So essentially it shouldn't do that. It shouldn't be able to use this functionality. Or this functionality, it shouldn't work. So guys, you can see person size. So essentially it's undefined. So essentially you can see because the basic object is not iterable, or we cannot iterate through this object, right? Properties. So essentially that's why the size thing is not working, and that's one of the main reasons why in some instances you have to use maps, right? And you need to use maps because they give you this this freedom of iterability, so you can iterate. And in some cases you just would like to work with each element of this map, right? Or with each property, and you essentially can loop through them, right? Or just looping through them. And later on I will show you like how you're going to use like loops, like for loop, or each loop, and we're going to talk about that. But the beauty is, again, if you'd like, if you understand that, alright, look, I need to implement kind of object, but at the same time this object should be iterable, and in this case definitely your choice is map. So I hope, guys, it makes sense. And one more thing I would like to mention, like, in order to see the all differences between basic object and maps, just go to this website. It's a well-known website among JavaScript community. It's called MDN. Just Google, just type MDN, and I believe it's supported by Mozilla. And you don't need to pay. You just go and you just read all this stuff. It's really useful stuff. They describe, like, they explain everything about the standard JavaScript functionality, and you can see, like, because they show you like the differences between maps and versus basic objects. If you just type MDN and maps, and you will come up with this map functionality, and they going to explain everything about that. That's the beauty, guys. So give it a shot. Just try to investigate yourself, like, in order to understand all differences, because there is more than just one difference, which is I mentioned. I think I mentioned the biggest or the main difference. It's you can iterate through map and you cannot iterate through the object. So it's a main difference from my perspective, but there are still some differences, So I think I'm going to finish discussing about this topic, guys, because I think this tutorial is already long enough. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this tutorial. And as always, I say, guys, if you like my tutorials, please subscribe, guys, if you're not subscribed yet, and please follow me, and please like this video if you really enjoy it, and if you think that it gave you some extra skills, or if you learned something new for yourself as a software developer, right? Thank you, guys, and see you next time. Goodbye.